Hello there, it's Jacquie here. This is the fourth video in this series that I've called Mindscape Fun. So for those of you that don't know yet and haven't seen any of these videos and don't understand what Mindscape is, it is an online class and program that you learn. Once upon a time, you used to have to go to travel and take this, and now we have the opportunity to take it online, which is really powerful, and you get to learn from one of the best in the world. I absolutely love Andy Spencer's work. I've teamed up with him because I love this class so much, and I use everything that this class teaches you. I use it in some way or another on a day-to-day basis. So I've understood since 2007 how powerful it is. Because it's now taught online, I was like, yeah, this is a fantastic opportunity for my community. So I asked Andy if we could team together and he could come and bring this material to you. So this is happening September 4th, 5th and 6th. And what I've been doing is sharing some of the ways that you're going to be able to use your Mindscape workshop. Okay. Now I'm not going to be able to capture all of it. I'm not going to be able to do that because I've been using this since 2007, as I said, and I still haven't even discovered everything that I can do with my Mindscape workshop. Not even close. Right, so you could spend the rest of your life exploring, journeying, testing out different techniques and tools in Mindscape, and you're still not going to get to all of it. Okay, you can have so much fun, and you're going to find that there'll be specific tools and resources in your Mindscape workshop that you can use according to whatever it is that you're going through right now. Now, the first video in this series was all about just taking you through the overview of what Mindscape is, how it works, and what it's going to give you a sense of what it's going to look like, because you're never really going to know what it's all about until you take class. That's just the truth of the matter. What it is in simple terms going to do is help you to retrain your mind. Majority of people have a mind that controls them, not a mind that has a strong framework that's trained well. There's a very big difference, and you know when that's happening. The other thing is that it helps to rewire the brain. That's very important because it helps the brain to be able to establish really nice brainwave patterns or rhythms, and you use those rhythms very specifically in Mindscape. Also, you use them kind of similar way in meditation and other forms of other therapies, I should say. And the last thing that this kind of encapsulates is intuition. It really taps into your intuitive system and gives that a framework, introduces you to that in more depth, and shows you how to use it in a very powerful way, because nearly everyone has a massively untapped intuition. So if you haven't yet seen the first video, I encourage you to go check that out. The second video was asking you, where are you going to travel to in your Mindscape workshop? So maybe that has you curious. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. And the third video was me taking you through a tour of my very own Mindscape. And that's kind of a special thing to share, because when you do Mindscape, you're going to come up with your very own Mindscape workshop. It's not going to look like mine. It's going to look totally different. There's not going to be another Mindscape workshop on the planet that's even remotely like yours. Okay, and you're going to love to be in there. You're going to love to share it with everybody else. You're going to love to talk about it with everybody else. And I can't wait to hear what you come up with. In today's video, I'm actually talking about communication with nonverbal people. One of the many, many things that you are going to be able to do with your Mindscape workshop is communicate with nonverbal people. So who could these nonverbal people be? They might be babies that are still in utero, so they're not born yet. There are numerous reasons why you would maybe want to bring in a baby that's in utero or communicate with them. I'm sure you can think of a few, but you might have a baby that is showing up as have stress signs, under stress. They might be breech. They might be competing with a twin. There might be a lot of stress going on in the environment, and you want to communicate calm, peace, love to the baby. There are many, many ways that you can do that. I also know of practitioners, including myself, who have extensively worked with babies in utero using their Mindscape workshop from a healing perspective. So you combine it with other therapies such as body talk to be able to effectively address imbalances that are going on in utero, whether it be to baby or to mum, it doesn't matter. So that's one option. You might have other nonverbal people who are people that might not be able to speak. They might have brain damage. They might be trapped inside because of trauma. There's lots of different reasons why people would be nonverbal. But it gives you an ability to be able to connect with these people and have a conversation with them, to be able to observe them and to be able to get lots of feedback on what their current state is. They can communicate with you very, very clearly in your Mindscape workshop. You might, and I know I said people, but don't forget about our animal kingdom, right? You will be able to invite in an animal because they are nonverbal, they communicate intercellularly, and they love the opportunity to communicate using your Mindscape workshop. And I've used that extensively. It's probably been one of the biggest ways that I've used Mindscape is through working with animals and animal communication, aka animal listening. Another way that you can use it is by working with people who are unconscious. And this would be from, usually it's people that have had some kind of big accident / trauma happen, and they are, ventilated, popped into an induced coma. And that is very beneficial to be able to connect with somebody in that way. Okay. And the last way that you could do this is to communicate with somebody who's non-physical anymore, right? So they're non-verbal, but they're also non-physical. So it is possible to connect in with people who have passed and are not here. And that can be an extremely rewarding experience. It also can be incredibly healing when you can connect in with somebody that's not here, because it can help you with your own grief process, or maybe help somebody else with their own grief process. Now, I want to give you just one experience of the many, many, many thousands of experiences that I've had in using my Mindscape workshop with nonverbal people and animals. One of the ones that really stands out for me and came up for me this morning when I was thinking about doing this video for you is somebody that I worked with quite a few years ago. So I'm just going to skim over some of the details because confidentiality is a factor here. I was working with a client. I'd been asked to facilitate a session for a client. This person had been involved in an accident with an animal, and as a result of their injuries, they'd been placed into a coma, and they were extremely unwell. And so I had been asked by the family to facilitate a session for this person. And one of the things that I noticed immediately upon inviting this person into my Mindscape workshop was them telling me that not only can they hear everything that has been said in the room, they're kind of out of body, so they can see everybody in the room, they can see the room, they can see themselves, which is a common thing. Lots of people have had these experiences. But the biggest thing was that they had overheard the conversations where some of the medical staff had said, they're not going to get better. They're likely to die. Don't get your hopes up. You've got to prepare yourself, that kind of thing. And this person came in and said, don't write me off. I'm here. I'm fighting. I'm working away at, repairing, but I'm not going anywhere. Yeah. So that was very valuable feedback to be able to give to the family. And it gave them a whole different perspective of what perhaps is going on. And they were also able to communicate it to them with their medical team and say, hey, can we do personal discussions like this outside of the room, please. We don't want them to be able to hear, just in case they can hear, that kind of thing. What was interesting is, and I facilitated that as part of a body talk session that I did. And that's one of the beautiful things that I love about Mindscape, is that you get such clear, congruent sensory information that you can relay it back to the appropriate people in a very neutral way. Then you just release it, let it go. But what was really nice about that particular story was that this person recovered. And I think it was on about day 3 of them being conscious and not on a ventilator, that they actually said to their family, I could see everything nearly the whole time. Like, I went off and journeyed, but then I came back and I could see you all. And I heard the conversation that was had about me not making it. And I knew that you thought that maybe I wasn't going to make it. So that was a huge aha moment for the family, in that they got huge validation that, again, for the second time, that that person was able to hear and able to see and things like that. So it's an extremely valuable tool, Mindscape. You're going to be able to use it in so many different ways. Just with non-verbal people or animals is a tiny chunk of that, tiny. So I wonder then, when you're doing Mindscape, and you have the opportunity to converse, to be able to call in somebody that's non-verbal, whether it be a person or an animal, I wonder who that is. So let me know in the comments. And by the way, down in the comments somewhere, depending on where you're watching this, will be the details of how you can sign up today. So we have lots of discounted prices still available for first timers and for people who are monitors. So check that out. If you've got any questions, let me know, and I look forward to being able to see you soon in class. Bye for now.